Hello, this is Eyes Free Fitness, Low Flow Yoga. I'm Joe Simek, certified yoga instructor and owner of Dragonfly Yoga Studio in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Make sure you consult a physician before performing this yoga sequence or any exercise program, especially if you have a medical condition like high blood pressure, heart disease, or diabetes. It is your responsibility to evaluate your own medical and physical condition and to determine whether to perform or adapt any of these exercises in this program. If you have symptoms like weakness, lightheadedness or dizziness, chest pain or pressure, nausea or shortness of breath, stop and consult your healthcare provider. All the postures in this program can be found with detailed descriptions and modifications at BlindAlive.com. I recommend you review them at least once. Today, I'll be leading you through a slow flow yoga sequence designed as an introduction to Sun Salutations and standing yoga postures. At times, we will be flowing from one posture to the next. In addition to a yoga mat, I suggest that you have a folded blanket or a pillow for this yoga practice. In addition, if you feel balance may be an issue for you, you might want to have immediate access to a wall or chair. We'll begin in a standing posture at the very center of our mats. The longest parts of the mat should be directly in front of you and behind you. In other words, if you were to step directly forward or back, you would feel the yoga mat beneath your feet. To start, bring your feet directly under your hips with your toes pointing forward and your feet parallel. See if you can lift your toes, spread them wide, and then put them back down. This should create an arch in the inside of your feet and allow you to equally distribute your weight to the four corners of your feet. Make sure your knees are not locked by putting a little bend in them, just enough to feel sturdy in this standing pose. As you lengthen through your spine, standing up straight, try to bring the natural curve into your lower back. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them. With your arms along your sides, open your palms to face toward the front of the mat as well. Bring your chin to a level resting position. As we begin our practice, it's important that we take a minute to connect with the earth and find our breath. Again, try to really root through your feet while extending through your spine. Take a moment to just be here. Relax your throat and jaw, letting your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Begin to notice your breathing. Try not to control it, just let it be there. As you continue to breathe, move the air in and out of your nose. Let your breath become audible. Also, begin to feel the inhale in your belly. As you breathe in, let your belly expand. As you exhale, let the belly contract. Listen to your breath here. We call this Conqueror Breath, and we use it for both a centering technique to begin our yoga practice, as well as during our practice, ensuring that we remain steady and comfortable in each pose. Take a few more breaths here. From this place of centering, we will begin to warm up the muscles and joints throughout the body. Stay with your Conqueror Breath throughout these warm-ups and yoga postures, coming back to it whenever your mind wanders. To warm up the neck and shoulders, start by dropping your chin towards your chest. As you move your head in a circle to the right, bring your right ear over your right shoulder. Continue to move in the same direction, dropping your head backwards, and then bringing your left ear over the left shoulder. Finally, bring the chin back to the chest. Continue to move in this circular fashion, breathing as you move. Remember to move and breathe slowly, relaxing your shoulders down. Next time you bring your chin to your chest, reverse your direction for 3 breaths, You should be taking a full rotation with each breath. As you come back to center, lift your head back to neutral. We'll move now into our wrists. Extend both your arms forward in front of you. Your arms should be parallel to the floor. Make gentle fists with both hands and begin to make circles with them, moving both at the same time, but in opposite directions. Feel the muscles throughout the arms begin to activate and the wrist joints warm up. If you haven't already, reverse direction, moving the hands and wrists in the opposite direction and continuing to breathe. Now relax your arms back down with your palms facing your thighs. We're moving into the shoulders now. Again, feel rooted through your feet. As you inhale, extend and lift both your arms up in front of you, continuing to bring them all the way up over your head, so that they are in line with the rest of your body. As you exhale, sweep your extended arms back down, past your thighs and behind your body. Again, as you inhale, extend and lift your arms all the way up overhead. Then exhale and bring them down and behind you. Your arms remain straight in this moving and breathing exercise, but there's a slight micro bend in the elbows. Inhale and exhale 2 more times in this exercise as we continue to warm up the shoulders. Relax your arms back down. Let's warm up the muscles in the back and around the spine now. Begin by bringing your feet out wider than your hips toward the edges of your mat. Your feet will still be parallel and your toes will still be pointing forward, but you'll be able to feel the very edges of the mat with the outside edges of your feet. For this exercise, it's again important that you do not lock your knees. In fact, you can start to bring a little up and down movement in your knees. With your feet firmly planted on the mat, see if you can bounce a little in your knees and let your arms hang free. Twist back and forth along your spine. Your arms will begin to move freely and will continue to hang loose. As you turn to the right, your chin will move that direction, and your left arm will come all the way over to the right side of your body. As you turn to the left, your chin will move to the left, and your right arm will come all the way over to the left side of your body. Allow your arms to swing, feeling the muscles in the back loosen up. Find a pace that works for your body and continue to breathe. Have fun with it. Gently begin to decrease your speed and come back to a resting position. We are going to transition down to the mat for a few more warm-ups. As you come down to the mat, move onto all fours or tabletop position. Start by putting the palms of your hands, your knees, shins, and the tops of your feet to the mat. Your fingers can be at the very top of the mat. Make sure your hands, knees, and feet are all hip distance apart. In other words, your knees should be directly under your hips, and your hands and feet should be in line with your knees. Your wrists should be directly under your shoulders, and you should keep a micro bend in your elbows. Here's another moving and breathing exercise called cat-cow. Connecting again with your Conqueror Breath, inhale, and as you do, drop your belly toward the mat, just like the drooping belly of a cow. Raise your nose upward, lifting the chin. Feel the stretch in your abdominal muscles and open your chest. As you exhale, move in the opposite direction. Arch or round your back, like a cat, dropping your head towards your chest and tucking your chin. Continue to breathe and move in these cat-cows. Let's do a few more. Keep breathing here, inhaling your chest open and exhaling and rounding your back. Now come back to a neutral spine in tabletop. To warm up the hips, we'll do an exercise which is similar to cat-cow, but there's a variation. From a tabletop position, inhale, and as you do, extend your right leg back behind you, parallel to the floor, straightening the leg and pushing through your heel. As you exhale, bring the knee and thigh into the chest. As you bring the leg in, you can round the back again. Again, as we inhale, we are lifting the leg back parallel to the floor, and as we exhale, we are bending the knee and bringing it into the chest. Let's do a few more of these. When you are finished, bring your right knee back down into tabletop, and we'll move to the left leg. We'll do the same thing on this side, lifting the left leg back and straightening it with our inhale. As we exhale, the knee and thigh come into the chest. Inhale, lift the leg back. Exhale, bring it into the body. Continue to move and breathe in this exercise. Relax back into tabletop position and rest for a moment. Before we move on, let's warm up the ankles. So again, extend your right leg out behind you. Make sure you are steady and balanced on your hands and your left knee. Starting with your right toes pointing down to the mat, take a moment to bring some movement into the right ankle by slowly making circles with the foot. Take a breath or two here as you rotate, and then reverse direction for a few breaths. Put your right knee back on the mat and change sides. Extend your left leg out behind you and balance on your hands and your right knee. Point the left toes down and then slowly make circles with the left foot. Remember to breathe and move in both directions. Again, relax back down now into a tabletop position and take a resting breath here. It's time to come back to the standing posture we started in, which is called Mountain Pose. As you stand up, again, bring your feet directly under your hips with your toes pointing forward and your feet parallel. Equally distribute your weight to the four corners of your feet and put a little bend in your knees. Bring the natural curve into your lower back and drop your shoulders away from your ears and relax them. With your arms along your sides, open your palms to face toward the front of the mat. Again, your chin should be level in a resting position. Take a few breaths here, standing up tall. We are now moving into Sun Salutations, which are a series of yoga postures linked together in a flow. It's important you remember to move at your own safe pace and pay attention to your breath. Each movement is linked to each inhale or exhale, and again, you should feel steady and comfortable in each posture. If you need to rest at any point, please do. First, we'll be doing half sun salutations. As you inhale, make one sweeping motion with your arms extended, lifting them out in front of you and up over your head. Put a small bend in your lower back and lift your chin. Keep your abdominal muscles engaged by bringing your belly button towards your spine. And then exhale and forward fold. During your forward fold, you want to hinge at your hips with a flat back. Make sure you have a little bend in your knees. As you forward fold, keep your arms extended and bring your hands as close to the mat as you can and in front of your feet. With your next inhale, hinge back up halfway, which means sliding your palms up to your shins or knees with your arms straight and lengthening your spine. As you exhale, hinge back down all the way again. You are inhaling again now, but this time come up all the way back to standing, bringing your arms out to the sides of your body and then all the way overhead. Exhale and bring your palms together in front of your heart. This is one half sun salutation. Let's do two more together. Come back to mountain pose. Inhale and sweep your arms up overhead, putting a little bend in your back. Engage your core and bend your knees slightly. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold all the way back down, bringing your hands to the floor. Inhale yourself up halfway by bringing your palms to your shins or knees and lengthen your spine. Exhale all the way back down. As you inhale again, hinge yourself all the way back up by sweeping your arms out to the side and up over your head. Exhale your palms together in front of your heart. Again, inhale your arms up overhead. As you exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale up halfway, lengthening the spine, and then exhale back down. Inhale all the way back up, sweeping your arms overhead, and exhale to heart center. Take an extra breath or two with your palms together. Feel your feet grounding into the floor, and breathe deeply one more time. Now let's try some full sun salutations. The beginning will look very similar to what we just did, but we'll take it further by working down to the mat and back up again. Begin in mountain pose, towards the front of your mat. The full length of the mat will be directly behind you. Again, feel the contact of your feet against the mat, and bring a micro bend into your knees. Inhale and sweep your arms over your head, and as you exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale up halfway, bringing your hands to your shins or knees, lengthening the spine. Put a fuller bend in your knees, and exhale your hands back down to the floor next to your feet. As you bring your hands down, put them on the mat and step your feet back, moving yourself into the top of a push-up position. Your palms should be on the floor, directly underneath your shoulders, with a micro bend in your elbows. The rest of your body should be off the mat, except for your toes, which are curled under. Try to position your hips in line with the rest of your body. Inhale here with your core engaged, feeling strength in your arms and legs. Keep your elbows in close to your sides as you exhale and lower yourself down onto your chest. If you need to drop your knees to the floor as you come down, that's okay. Next, you'll be lifting yourself into Cobra Pose. And this is a back bend, so make sure you are listening to your body and your back as you do this pose. Be sure to come back down to the mat if something doesn't feel right. Release your muscles below your waistline. With your chest on the mat, your elbows bent, and your hands underneath your shoulders, inhale. As you do, push your hands into the mat and lift your chest off the mat. As you do, it's important to keep your elbows in toward the body, your shoulders back and down, and your shoulder blades moving together towards the spine. Remember that the bend is in the lower back, not in the neck, so you do not need to lift your chin high. Exhale your chest slowly back down to the mat. The next part of the Sun Salutation is downward facing dog. Your hands are still underneath your shoulders. Ground down into the mat with the entirety of your hands, especially your palms. Your index fingers should be pointing directly forward. As you inhale, lift yourself back up to a tabletop position. Now, curl your toes under. Lift your knees off the mat and push your hips up towards the ceiling and back towards the back of the mat. You're forming a sort of triangle or pyramid shape with your body. Straighten your legs and bring the soles of the feet to the mat, dropping your heels down as much as possible. Try to get the weight to move out of your wrists by continuing to push your energy back through your hips. You may need to walk your feet up towards your hands a little bit. Remember, your body is in the shape of a triangle, not a push-up position. Next, walk your feet up in between your hands at the top of the mat into your standing forward fold. Now, inhale all the way back up, sweeping your arms overhead, and exhale to heart center. Take an extra breath with your palms together. Well done. That's one full Sun Salutation. And we're going to do 2 more. Remember that you can always move at your own pace, even if you need to slow things down. From Mountain Pose, inhale the arms up overhead, and then exhale into a forward fold with a slight bend in the knees. Inhale up halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale back to a forward fold. You'll now step back into the top of a push-up position. Inhale here, and then exhale down to your chest with your elbows by your sides. Your next inhale takes you up into a Cobra Pose. Push into the mat with your palms and lift the chest up, moving into a back bend, and then exhaling back down to the mat. Inhale again and push back to downward facing dog with your legs straight and your hips high toward the ceiling. Drop your heels toward the floor. As you exhale, you'll walk your feet up in between your hands back to a forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to standing and exhale your palms together at heart center. Find your mountain pose again, and let's move through our last Sun Salutation now. Remember that if this is new for you, it's okay if your breath isn't perfectly synced with the movement. Just remember to keep breathing. Inhale and sweep your arms up. Exhale and forward fold all the way down, hinging at the hips with your core engaged. Inhale up halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale back down. Inhale as you step back to the top of a push-up. And then exhale your body slowly down to the mat. Inhale up into a Cobra Pose. And exhale back down to the mat. Inhale back to your downward facing dog, hips lifting high. And then exhale and step back up into a forward fold. Inhale back to standing with your arms coming up overhead. Exhale back to heart center, palms together. Feel your energy coming back down as you take a few breaths here. We'll move now into a few standing postures. The first one is called Warrior 2. From your mountain pose at the top of your mat, step your right foot back towards the back of the mat. As you do, you're turning and opening your chest up to the right. Bring your right toes to face the right edge of your mat. There should be a little bit more than a leg's distance between your feet. If your right hip is dipping forward, try to bring it back in line with the rest of your body. Bring your hands to your hips, ground through the four corners of your feet, and really feel your feet on the floor. Now bend your left knee, feeling strength building in your left quadriceps as you stack your left knee directly over your left ankle. Don't let your knee fall into the right. You may need to adjust the width between your feet to be able to stack these joints. Make sure you feel balanced in this pose. Once you feel grounded and stable here, lengthen your spine and engage your core muscles. Bring your arms up to shoulder height in line with the rest of your body. Your arms will be parallel to the floor, and you'll be pointing through your fingers. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, and then rotate your head so your chin is pointing toward your left hand. Breathe here, feeling strength in your left thigh and a stretch in the inside of your right thigh. Keep your core engaged and feel your shoulders building strength as you keep your arms up. Feel powerful here, and remember to breathe. With your next exhale, relax your arms down and straighten your left leg. It's time to do Warrior 2 on the opposite side. Staying in this wide-legged position, now turn your left foot so it's parallel to your right, and then turn your right foot so it's pointing toward the back of your mat. So, now your feet are opposite of where they were. On this side, bring your left hip in line with the rest of your body. Rest your hands on your hips and feel your feet on the floor. Now bend your right knee and stack it directly over your right ankle, adjusting the width between your feet to be able to do that. As you find your balance, lengthen your spine and engage your core muscles. Bring your arms up and parallel to the floor and point through your fingers, palms facing the floor. Move your shoulders away from your ears and then move your head so your chin is pointing toward your right hand. Keep your core engaged and your spine lengthened. And let's take 3 more breaths on this side. Relax your arms down, straighten your left leg, and bring your feet together. It's time now for a balancing posture, and this one is called Tree Pose. And this can be a challenging pose, so you can always do this pose next to a chair or a wall for support. Just like the roots of a tree, it's important that we really ground through our feet and feel stable in Tree Pose. So start again in Mountain, with your hands on your hips, feeling your weight evenly distributed through both feet. Next, begin to shift your weight into your right foot, feeling even more grounded in that foot. As your left foot feels lighter, turn it out so it's perpendicular to your right foot. Then, lift your left heel, keeping your toes on the floor, and rest your heel just above your right ankle. So, your left toes are on the floor, your left knee is bent and in line with your body, and your left heel is against your right leg. You can stay here and find your balance, or you can go a little bit further and lift and place the left sole of the foot completely against the right leg, just below the knee. Be sure not to place the left foot directly against the right knee. If you want to take things even further, the sole of the foot can move all the way up against the inner thigh, making sure your knee is pointing out to the left side. Don't let your right hip slide out to the right. Keep it stacked on top of the knee, just like a tree trunk. Wherever you're at, again ground through your right foot. Bring your palms together at heart center and take a breath here. If you want to move into a fuller expression of the pose, inhale your arms straight up and overhead, or you can keep one hand on the wall or chair. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, leaving your lifted arm or arms extended. If your tree falls over, it's okay. Just come back to the pose. Now we'll slowly work our way out of tree pose. Bring your hands back down to heart center and slowly bring your left foot back to the floor and find your mountain pose. Let's move into the posture on the other side now. From mountain pose, with your hands on your hips, feeling your weight in both your feet, shift your weight onto your left foot. As your right foot feels lighter, turn it out so it's perpendicular to your left foot. Now place your right foot against your left leg at whatever level is best for you. Either place the right toes on the floor and the heel against the left leg, or place the sole of the foot completely against the left leg below the knee. You can go even higher to the inner thigh, but again, be sure not to place the foot against the knee. Bring your palms together at heart center and breathe. When you're ready, inhale your arms straight up and overhead. Leave your palms together or release them and drop your shoulders away from your ears with your arms extended. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. Bring your hands back down to heart center and slowly bring your right foot back to the floor. It's now time to stretch the muscles we worked in our Sun Salutations and our standing poses. From mountain pose, again, inhale your arms up overhead, exhale into a forward fold. This time, instead of stepping back into a push-up position, step back and lower onto all fours in tabletop. From tabletop, we'll transition into child's pose. First, with your knees in line with your hips, bring your hips back onto your heels. The tops of your feet should be on the mat. Then bring your chest down to the top of your thighs. Try to rest your forehead on the mat. You may need to bring your blanket or pillow underneath your forehead to make it easier to come down. If you can, extend your arms out toward the front of the mat, palms facing down. This will stretch your shoulders, your armpits, and your shoulder blades. If your shoulders need a break, you can always bring your arms along your sides with your palms facing the ceiling. If child's pose is really uncomfortable, try spreading your knees out a little wider than your hips, and then come down again. Also, you may want to bring a blanket on top of your heels and under your hips to aid in coming down as well. This is a great pose for stretching the quadriceps, as we bring the weight of our torso down on top of them. This should also be a really nice release for your lower back. Breathe here into your belly and feel it expand against your thighs. See if you can expand the entirety of your torso with your breath and feel an added stretch in your back along your spine. Take 3 more breaths here, doing your best to surrender into this pose. Breathe deeply and evenly. We'll transition now into a seated posture. First, lift your chest off of your thighs and sit yourself up. Drop your hips to the right side and down to the mat, and then extend your legs out in front of you. You can again sit on a folded blanket or on a pillow. It's time to stretch your calf and hamstring muscles, as well as your back in head to knee pose. From your seated posture, extend your right leg all the way out and bend your left knee and bring the sole of the left foot to rest against the inside of the right thigh. Push through your right heel by bringing your toes toward your shin. Lengthening your spine and sitting up tall, twist your torso a little so that the middle of your chest is in line with the right knee. Now start to hinge at the hips, coming forward with length in your spine. Reach your left arm out, straight, and with the left hand, take hold of the outside edge of the right foot. Depending on how flexible you are, you may need to bend your right knee enough until your left hand can reach the outside of your right foot. Once it does, straighten your leg again until you feel the stretch in your calf and your hamstring muscles. Remember to keep length in your spine and hinge forward at the hips. The lengthening of your arm as you hold onto your foot should bring a stretch into your shoulders. The final piece of this pose is to drop your head and feel the stretch move up the spine on the left side and into the lower back. Your right hand can rest on the floor and support you. Breathe here, coming up if you need to. Take 1 or 2 more breaths in this pose. Now release your hand, lift your head, and hinge back up. It's time to switch legs. Extend your left leg all the way out and bend your right knee and bring the sole of the right foot to rest against the inside of the left thigh. Don't worry if your right leg doesn't rest on the ground. You could always put a blanket underneath it. Push through your left heel, sit up tall and lengthen your spine. Then twist a little so the middle of your chest is in line with the left knee. Hinge at the hips, coming forward with length in your spine. Reach your right arm out straight, and with the right hand, take hold of the outside edge of the left foot. Again, you may need to bend your leg enough until you can reach your foot. Once you do, straighten your leg again until you feel a stretch in your calf and hamstring muscles. Remember to keep length in your spine and hinge forward at the hips. As you do, drop your head and feel the stretch move up the spine on the right side. Your left hand is there for balance. Begin to breathe here. Take 1 more deep breath in this pose. Lift your head, release your hand, and hinge back up to sitting. It's time to come off of our blankets and move on to our backs. As you move onto your back, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. You might want to rock back and forth from left to right and massage your back a little. Let's move now into an inversion, which is called bridge pose. Release your legs, but keep your knees bent and rest the soles of your feet back onto the mat. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Bring your arms along your sides on the mat with your palms facing down and point your fingers towards the bottom of your mat. Make sure there are 6 inches or so between your fingertips and your heels. In other words, make sure your heels are not up by your buttocks. we'll be lifting our hips towards the ceiling in bridge pose, and when we do this, we want to make sure our knees are directly on top of our ankles. Before you lift your hips, first flatten your spine against the floor, removing the space between the lower back and the floor. As you do, continue in this movement and lift your hips up as high as you can towards the ceiling. Hold your hips up here and return to your breathing. As you hold your hips up with the muscles in your legs and your core and your back, try not to let your knees come out wide. Keep them in line with your hips. You can leave your palms here, or you can interlace your fingers underneath you, tucking your shoulders under your body and pressing your arms and hands into the mat. Bridge is an inversion pose, and one of the reasons we want to bring our hips above our heart is to let the blood flow into our vital organs and our torso and take some pressure off our heart. Take a few breaths here, letting gravity do its work. If you need to rest, feel free to come back down. Otherwise, take 1 or 2 more breaths here. Now release your hands and slowly bring your hips back to the mat and take a resting breath. We're moving into Reclining Pigeon Pose. Your legs are still bent with the soles of your feet on the floor. Lift your right foot off the mat and place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, just below the knee. From here, lift your left foot off the mat and bring your left thigh towards your chest. Reach your right hand in between your legs and hold on to the back of the left thigh or the front of the left knee. Your left hand can do the same, coming around your left thigh on the left side to hold on as well. Push through both heels. Inhale, and then use your hands to pull your left thigh in more towards your chest as you exhale. You should feel a really great stretch along the right glute muscles and into your right hip joint. You may also feel a stretch moving up into your lower back on the right side. Try to rest your head on the mat, bring in a pillow or blanket underneath it if you need to, and take 3 more breaths here. Release your hands and bring your left foot back to the mat. Uncross your right ankle and bring the right foot back to the mat. We'll come into the pose on the other side now. Lift your left foot off the mat and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh, again just below the knee. Begin to lift your right foot off the mat and bring your right thigh towards your chest. Reach your left hand through the hole created by the left leg and hold onto the back of the right thigh or the front of the right knee. Your right hand holds on as well. Push through both heels. Breathe here, and again bring that same stretch into the left hip. Gently release your hands. Bring your right foot back to the mat. Uncross your left ankle and bring the left foot back to the mat. Now we'll transition into a reclining twist. To start, bring both knees into your chest. Use both hands to keep your right knee in your chest and extend your left leg out completely and bring it down to the mat so it's parallel to your mat. Push through your left heel. Release your right arm to the mat, extending it out perpendicular to your body. With your left hand on your right knee, begin to pull your right knee across your body to the left, bringing the knee towards the floor. It's okay if it doesn't come all the way down to the floor. If it's comfortable, point your nose to the right hand, coming into a full twist. Find your breath here and try to keep your right shoulder grounded on the yoga mat. This pose should help release any tension in your back that we might have created through our yoga practice. Try to surrender into the pose and breathe evenly. Release your right knee back to center, and we'll come into the twist on the other side. Bring your left knee into your chest and extend your right leg out completely. Bring it down to the mat and push through your right heel. Extend your left arm out perpendicular to your body. Again, with your right hand on your left knee, begin to pull your left knee across your body to the right. Point your nose to the left hand, coming into a full twist on this side. Keep your left shoulder on the mat, and again, focus on your breath. When you're ready, release the left knee back to center and bring your right knee back into your chest and give yourself one last hug by wrapping your arms around your shins. Again, you can rock from left to right and massage the back. It's time to move into our last posture, Relaxation Pose. If you continue to have tension in your lower back, keep your knees bent and bring the soles of the feet back to the floor. Bring your knees together and then walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. Your knees can rest on one another, and stay like this as long as you need to. Otherwise, extend both your legs out and down to the mat. Bring your arms along your side with your palms facing up. There's nothing left to do now. Begin to relax your body as you feel the support of the floor beneath you. Take notice of what points of your body are connecting to the mat. Also, notice the air as it touches your skin. See if you can feel the body begin to sink into the floor. Bring a sense of relaxation into the body. Bring your awareness first to your toes, relaxing them. Let the relaxation move now into your feet, and then into your heels, and let it move up into your legs, into your ankles and calves and shins. Your knees are relaxing. That relaxing energy moves up into the top of your thighs and then drips down into the bottom of your thighs. Your hips and your pelvis relax and sink a little deeper into the mat. See if you can relax your belly, wrapping around to your lower back. Relax each vertebrae as you move up your spine and into your rib cage. Wrap back around to your heart center and relax your chest. Relax your shoulders deeper into the mat as well. Relax down your arms, through your biceps and triceps, and relax your elbows. Relax your forearms and your wrists. Feel the relaxing energy in the palms of your hands as you relax through your fingertips. Let the tongue fall from the roof of the mouth as you relax the throat and jaw. See if you can relax your face, your nose, and the very center of your eyes. Relax the space between your eyebrows, moving up to the center of your forehead, and finally to your crown. Your head feels heavy, and your body feels heavy. Come back to your breath. Come back to the gentle rise and fall of the belly. Each inhale brings relaxation, and each exhale relieves tension. As you continue to breathe, think to yourself with your inhale, I am, and as you exhale, relaxed. Inhale, I am, and exhale, relaxed. Stay here in this peaceful state, continuing to breathe. When you're ready, come back to the body and begin to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms out overhead and bring them down to your mat. Point through your toes, feeling the body lengthen. Inhale and exhale here. And then as you do, roll onto your right side. Continue to breathe and take a moment to thank yourself for practicing your yoga. Take note of how you feel. Take this sense of relaxation with you as you go through your day. With your next inhale and exhale, bring yourself up to a comfortable seated pose with your legs crossed or extended out in front of you. Take a moment to breathe. Bring your palms together in front of your heart and bow to your inner self. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, namaste. For more descriptive fitness programs, go to BlindAlive.com.